The ancient crystallid ship erupted in a blaze of pure light, brighter than a newborn star. The energy wave rippled outward, washing over the drachnid vessels like a tsunami of radiance. Their shields crumpled instantly, their hulls cracking under the assault of pure energy. On the bridge of the Perseverance, the crew watched in awe as the drachnid ships tumbled helplessly through space, their systems completely overloaded. Multiple escape pods detected launching from enemy vessels. HFY reported calmly. But no one was celebrating. All eyes were fixed on the spot where their captain had made her last stand. The light from the explosion slowly faded, leaving nothing but scattered crystal fragments drifting in the void. Life signs, Emma asked quietly, though she already knew the answer. Scanning, HFY responded. Then, unexpectedly, one signal detected. Faint, but present. Pattern matches. Crystallid energy signature combined with human biological readings. Aurora's light pulsed suddenly. Impossible. Unless. Quick. Get a rescue team out there. The search took 20 tense minutes. Finally, they found her. Captain Chen, still in her spacesuit, unconscious but alive. Her suit was covered in a thin layer of crystal, glowing faintly with familiar light patterns. In the medical bay, Emma ran scan after scan, her eyes wide with amazement. The crystallids in the core, they protected her. When the core detonated, they surrounded her with their own essence, shielding her from the blast. They've somehow merged with her on a cellular level. Hours later, Chen opened her eyes. The medical bay lights seemed different now. She could see patterns in them she'd never noticed before. Aurora stood beside her bed, its light pulsing with joy. You gave us back our future, Aurora communicated, the words appearing in Chen's mind as patterns of light. It was only fair we gave you a new future as well. 3 months later, the Perseverance approached Earth, its hull still bearing the scars of battle. But it wasn't alone. A fleet of newly constructed ships accompanied it, their crystalline hulls gleaming in the sunlight. The rescued crystallids had wasted no time in rebuilding, using their advanced technology combined with human resources. In the United Earth Council chamber, Captain Chen stood at the podium, her skin now having a subtle crystalline sheen that caught the light. Representatives from both species gathered to formalize their alliance. The crystallids sought only to learn and grow. Chen addressed the assembly. For this, they were hunted, trapped in an endless nightmare. But humanity showed them there was still good in the universe. We showed them that sometimes the strongest bonds are forged in the darkest moments. Aurora floated forward, its light mixing with the crystalline patterns now flowing through Chen's body. We offer our knowledge, our technology, and our friendship to humanity. Together, we will explore the stars not as separate species, but as one united people. The chamber erupted in applause as the treaty was signed. Outside, construction had already begun on the first human crystallid hybrid city, its towers rising like crystal flowers reaching for the sky. In her private quarters that evening, Chen stood by the window, watching the sunset create rainbow patterns through her crystalline skin. She could feel the thoughts and emotions of both humans and crystallids flowing through the city's network. Fear, hope, excitement, determination, all mixing together into something new and beautiful. Was it worth it? Aurora asked, appearing beside her. Risking everything for people you didn't know. Chen smiled, reaching out to touch the crystalline being who had become both friend and part of herself. That's what makes us human. We see people in need, and we help. Simple as that. She looked out at the rising towers, and look what we achieved together. As night fell over Earth, the new city began to glow with its own light, a beacon of hope born from humanity's determination to help those in need, and a testament to the power of two species choosing to stand together against the darkness. Warning lights flashed across the Perseverance's bridge as another volley from the drachnid ships slammed into their shields. Captain Chen gripped her command chair, watching the tactical display with intense focus. Shield strength at 30%. The tactical officer shouted over the sound of straining systems. We can't take much more of this. In engineering, Dr. Lee worked frantically alongside the crystallids, their combined consciousness flowing through the ship's systems. "Captain, we've got another problem," he reported through the comm. "The power core of the old crystallid ship. It's becoming unstable." Emma's voice joined the channel. "The pod failures are accelerating. We still have over 5,000 crystallids to rescue, but at this rate..." She didn't need to finish the sentence. Everyone knew what failure meant. Commander Zextar's face appeared on the main screen again, his scaled features twisted in a cruel smile. "Surrender now, humans. Your ship is failing. The crystal spawn will die anyway. Why sacrifice yourselves for these worthless beings?" Chen stood up, her eyes blazing with determination. "Aurora, are you still connected to our systems?" "We are here." The crystallid's voice resonated through the ship's speakers, now harmonizing with dozens of its awakened kin. "The old ship's power core. You said your people were masters of light and energy. Could we use it as a weapon?" There was a pause as the crystallids communicated among themselves. "Yes, but it would require precise timing. Someone would need to manually activate the core's resonance chamber. The radiation would be fatal." Chen nodded grimly. "Get me a spacesuit." "Captain?" "No." Watson stepped forward. "Let me do it." "This is too important to delegate," Chen replied, already moving toward the airlock. "Besides, I need you here to coordinate the final rescue operation. Emma Lee, you have 1 hour to get everyone off that ship. Aurora, can your people help guide me to the core?" Light patterns danced across the ship's corridors as Chen made her way to the airlock, her space suit sealed and ready. The crystallid's consciousness flowed with her, lighting her path. "All hands," she broadcast to her crew. "This is your captain. Start the final evacuation now. Get everyone you can off that ship. When I give the signal, take the Perseverance to safe distance and raise shields to maximum." She pushed off from the airlock, magnetic boots engaging as she landed on the crystalline surface of the ancient vessel. Inside her helmet, light patterns guided her through the maze of corridors toward the ship's heart. The Drachnid ships noticed her movement. Energy beams sliced through space, trying to stop her advance. But the Perseverance's guns, guided by crystallid precision, kept them at bay. "This is for a people who have suffered too long," Chen muttered as she reached the core chamber. The massive crystal engine towered before her, its structure pulsing with the last remnants of its original power. Aurora's voice came through her comm. "The sequence is ready, Captain. But please, there might be another way." "No time," Chen replied, her fingers dancing across the ancient control panel as the crystallids guided her movements. "Humanity doesn't abandon people in need. Ever." She looked up at the massive core. Besides, what better way to go than saving an entire civilization? The core began to pulse faster as she input the final commands. Energy built up in waves of blinding light. "Get our people out," she ordered. "All of them. Human and crystallid. They're all our people now." The Perseverance's rescue teams worked with desperate speed, the last groups of crystallids being transported to safety as the core's energy reached critical levels. Commander Zextar's voice came through one final time. "What are you doing, human? Stop this madness." Chen smiled inside her helmet. "Just showing you what humanity does when pushed too far. Now let me show you the light." The Perseverance's medical bay had been transformed into a sea of living light. Hundreds of rescued crystallids filled the chamber, their bodies pulsing with increasingly stronger glows as they recovered from their centuries of frozen dreams. Emma Torres watched in amazement as Aurora touched one of its newly awakened companions. Light flowed between them like a stream of liquid diamonds. "They're sharing memories," Emma explained to Captain Chen, who had come to check on their refugees. "It's incredible. Their entire species is connected through light patterns. They can share thoughts, experiences, even skills." Suddenly, Aurora turned to them, its crystal form blazing brighter than ever. "Captain, we may have a way to help. Our people were not always peaceful scholars. Before we devoted ourselves to learning, we were warriors. The ship shuddered from another Drachnid attack. Chen steadied herself against a wall. Go on. We can interface with your ship's systems, Aurora continued. Our light-based consciousness can flow through your electrical networks, enhance your weapons, strengthen your shields. We only need your permission and trust. Chen didn't hesitate. Dr. Li, she called over the intercom. Get down here. We're going to try something new. Within minutes, Li had rigged a basic interface between the ship's computer systems and a willing group of crystallids. As they connected, the ship's lights flickered, then grew steadier and brighter. This is amazing, Li gasped, checking his readings. They're not just interfacing with our systems, they're improving them. The shield efficiency is up by 40%. Aria's voice seemed to carry a new resonance as it announced, crystallid consciousness successfully integrated with ship systems. Combat effectiveness increased by 63%. On the bridge, the tactical displays transformed. Light patterns danced across the screens, showing the Drachnid ship's weaknesses in ways the human sensors had never detected. Their hull plating has microscopic flaws, the tactical officer reported with excitement. The crystallids can see them. They're guiding our weapons for precise hits. Chen watched as their next volley struck the lead Drachnid ship exactly where Aurora had indicated. The enemy vessel's shields flickered and died. But the Drachnids weren't done. They launched a new wave of attacks, this time targeting the derelict crystallid vessel where thousands still slept in failing pods. No, Aurora's voice echoed through the ship's speakers, its fear evident even through the electronic translation. Our people, our history, everything we are is still in those pods. Chen's eyes narrowed. Not if we can help it. All hands, battle stations. Li, can we extend our shields around their ship? Not normally, Li replied, but with the crystallids boosting our systems. Yes, maybe. The rescued crystallids pulsed in unison, their light flowing through the ship's systems. The Perseverance's shields stretched out, enveloping both vessels in a protective bubble of energy. Shields holding. The tactical officer reported, but we can't maintain this forever, Captain. Chen nodded grimly. We don't need forever. We just need enough time. She turned to Aurora. You've shown us your warriors' hearts. Now, let's show you humanity's. Another blast rocked the ship, but the combined human crystallid shields held firm. In the medical bay, more rescued crystallids were waking up, adding their strength to the defense network. They called us abominations, Aurora communicated, its light pulsing with emotion. They hunted us like animals. But you humans see us as people. You fight for us. Why? Because it's right, Chen answered simply. And because every sentient being deserves a chance to live free. That's what humanity believes, and that's what we're fighting for. The Perseverance's enhanced weapons fired again, this time with perfect precision, guided by crystallid awareness. On the tactical display, a second Drachnid ship's engines began to fail. Human and crystallid, working together, were turning the tide of battle. The first batch of rescued crystallids had just been safely transported to the Perseverance when ARIA's warning cut through the celebration. Captain, 3 ships have just dropped out of faster-than-light travel. Unknown configuration. They are heavily armed. Captain Chen rushed to the bridge, her boots echoing in the corridors. The main view screen showed 3 black vessels, their hulls covered in what looked like sharp metallic scales. They were arranging themselves in an attack formation. Incoming transmission. Lieutenant Rodriguez reported, his fingers hovering over the communications panel. Put it through, Chen ordered, straightening her uniform. A harsh voice filled the bridge, accompanied by a holographic image of a reptilian alien. Its scales were dark gray, and its yellow eyes seemed to glow with malice. This is Commander Zextar of the Drachnid Salvage Fleet. You are interfering with our claim. We have been tracking these crystal abominations for 3 centuries. Their technology belongs to us by right of pursuit. Chen's face hardened. This is Captain Sarah Chen of the Earth vessel Perseverance. We're conducting a rescue operation. These are living beings, not salvage. Zextar's laugh was like grinding metal. Living. They are failed experiments. Defective technology that should have died centuries ago. Stand down, human, or we will destroy both ships. That's not going to happen, Chen replied firmly. These people are under our protection now. The transmission cut off abruptly. Chen turned to her crew. Battle stations. Rodriguez, send an emergency signal to Earth Fleet. Watson, get our rescued crystallids to the secure inner chambers. The Perseverance's shield generators hummed to life as the crew prepared for battle. Dr. Lee's voice came through the intercom from engineering. Captain, we've only moved about 300 crystallids. There are still thousands left on their ship. Keep the rescue operation going, Chen ordered. We'll buy you time. She turned to her tactical officer. Target their weapons systems only. Let's show them we mean business without starting a war. The first Drachnid ship fired, a bright purple beam slicing through space. The Perseverance's shields flared but held. Return fire, Chen commanded. Warning shots across their bow. The human ship's laser batteries fired, drawing lines of light between the Drachnid vessels. But instead of backing off, all three enemy ships began moving forward. Aurora, the first rescued crystallid, glided onto the bridge, its crystalline form pulsing with agitated light patterns. Captain, it communicated through Emma's translator. These are the descendants of those who sabotaged our stasis systems. They have hunted us, waiting for our pods to fail so they could steal our technology. Well, they'll have to get through humanity first, Chen declared. She opened a channel to all decks. All hands, this is your captain. We have people counting on us. People who have suffered for centuries while these vultures waited for them to die. Not on our watch. Not while we can fight. Show them what humanity does when innocent lives are at stake. The Drachnid ships launched another barrage, this time coordinating their attack. The Perseverance shook violently. Shields at 60%, the tactical officer reported. Maintain position between them and the crystallid ship, Chen ordered. Divert power from non-essential systems to shields. Aurora's lights pulsed rapidly. You would risk your lives for us. You barely know us. Chen turned to the crystalline being, her expression determined. This is what humans do. We protect those who need protection. We fight for those who can't fight for themselves. And we're really, really good at being stubborn about it. As if to emphasize her words, the Perseverance's main guns roared to life, sending precise shots that damaged one of the Drachnid ship's engines. The message was clear. Humanity wasn't going anywhere. The engineering bay of the HFY Perseverance had turned into a hive of activity. Dr. Lee stood at the central workstation, surrounded by holographic displays showing the complex crystalline structures of the alien stasis pods. Dark circles under his eyes revealed he hadn't slept in the past 20 hours. 71 hours remaining, Araya announced, its calm voice a stark contrast to the tension in the room. The sound harmonics are working, Lee said, adjusting the frequencies on his test apparatus. A small crystal shard floated in the containment field, vibrating gently with the sound waves, but scaling it up to transport an entire being. Captain Chen walked in, carrying fresh coffee for her exhausted crew. Talk to me, Doctor. What's our progress? We've figured out how to move them, Lee explained, taking the coffee gratefully. Their crystalline structure resonates with specific sound frequencies, like singing to a wine glass, but much more complex. The right harmonics could let us transport them safely. Emma Torres burst into the engineering bay, her face bright with excitement. The crystallid we rescued is conscious again, and they shared something incredible about their history. She pulled up her data pad, showing recordings of light patterns. They weren't just a space-faring civilization. They were masters of light-based technology. Their entire society was built on manipulating photons and crystal matrices. But their star's death wasn't natural. It was sabotaged by a rival species. A loud crack interrupted them as another pod failure alert sounded through the ship's speakers. 3 more pods just failed, Araya reported. Current casualty count: 12 crystallids lost. Chen slammed her hand on the table. Not acceptable. How many pods can we save if we start now? Li ran the calculations quickly. With our current method, maybe 1,000. We'd need at least 50 transport chambers using the harmonic resonance technology, and we only have materials for 10. What about the ship's cargo bays? Chen asked. Could we convert them into giant resonance chambers? Li's eyes widened. Yes. We could use the ship's own hull as an amplifier. But Captain, that would mean shutting down all non-essential systems. We'd be running on emergency power only. Do it, Chen ordered without hesitation. Emma, work with our rescued crystallid. Learn everything you can about their physiology. Chief Watson, I want security teams ready for pod extraction the moment the chambers are ready. As the crew scattered to their tasks, more warning alerts sounded. Pod failures were accelerating. The race against time had begun. Hours blurred together as the human crew worked tirelessly. The cargo bays were stripped and converted into massive resonance chambers. Engineers crawled through maintenance tunnels, rerouting power and installing sonic generators. Medical teams prepared receiving areas for the rescued crystallids. The rescued crystallid, who called itself Aurora, helped where it could. Its glowing form moved among the humans, sharing crucial information about its people's biology through patterns of light that Emma's translator decoded. Our consciousness, Aurora explained, its lights pulsing softly, exists as patterns of light within our crystal matrix. The stasis pods were meant to preserve these patterns, but the system was sabotage. Instead of suspended animation, we were trapped in endless dream loops. Why didn't the saboteurs just destroy you completely? Emma asked while adjusting the resonance frequencies. Aurora's lights dimmed. They wanted us to suffer, to experience eternal imprisonment in our own minds. They never expected anyone to find us, let alone try to save us. Well, they didn't count on humanity, Chen said firmly. We don't leave people to suffer, no matter what species they are. Suddenly, Araya's voice cut through the ship. Warning. Multiple pod failures detected in Section 7. Structural integrity of alien vessel compromising. Time to complete system failure, 48 hours. Chen looked at her crew, determination burning in her eyes. Everyone to your stations. We're starting the rescue now. Humanity didn't come this far to fail. Let's show the universe what we can do when lives are on the line. The rescue team stood in the airlock of Shuttle 1, performing final checks on their environmental suits. Lieutenant Emma Torres, the team's xenobiologist, adjusted her helmet's sensors while checking the portable analysis kit strapped to her back. Remember, Captain Chen's voice came through their comms. We don't know what we're walking into. First priority is assessing the status of those life signs. Stay alert and stay together. The airlock cycled, and the team stepped out onto the crystalline surface of the alien ship. Their magnetic boots clicked against the strange material, which seemed to ripple with faint colors beneath their feet. It's beautiful, Emma whispered, scanning the surface. These aren't just random formations. They're grown, organized, almost like circuit patterns. Chief Watson led the way, following the path their scans had shown would lead to a possible entry point. Their helmet lights illuminated the crystalline growths, sending rainbow reflections dancing across their visors. Entry point ahead, Watson announced, stopping before what appeared to be an airlock. Dr. Lee, you're up. Dr. James Lee, the team's engineer, stepped forward with his interface kit. He studied the alien control panel, which was covered in the same crystalline patterns as the hull. These patterns, they're not decorative. They're data conduits. The whole ship is one giant crystal computer. It took 20 tense minutes for Lee to interface with the alien systems. Finally, with a low hum, The airlock began to cycle. The team entered cautiously, weapons ready despite their peaceful intentions. Inside, the ship was even more remarkable. Crystal corridors stretched in every direction, their walls pulsing with dim light. But what caught their attention were the pods. Hundreds of them visible just in this section, each containing a humanoid figure made entirely of living crystal. Emma rushed to the nearest pod, her scanners working overtime. They're alive. But these readings are strange. Their consciousness patterns are trapped in some kind of loop. They're dreaming, but they can't wake up. The team moved deeper into the ship, documenting everything. They found the ship's central database, its crystals dark and damaged. Dr. Lee connected his equipment, trying to salvage what data he could. "I've got something," he announced after several minutes. "It's fragmentary, but they're called the crystallids. Their star was dying, going supernova. They tried to escape, but something went wrong with their stasis systems." "How long have they been trapped here?" Watson asked, his gruff voice unusually soft. "Based on stellar drift calculations, over 300 years. Emma's sharp intake of breath echoed through the comms. 300 years of endless dreams. No wonder the patterns are degrading. Their minds were never meant to be frozen for so long. A sudden crack echoed through the chamber. One of the pods had developed a spreading fracture, its crystal surface splintering. The pod's failing. Emma rushed forward, but Watson held her back. "We don't know if it's safe." The pod shattered. Its occupant, a crystalline being roughly human-sized, fell forward. Emma broke free of Watson's grip and caught the alien before it could hit the ground. To everyone's surprise, instead of being hard and sharp, the crystal being felt almost soft, like fiber optic cables woven into a humanoid shape. The crystallid surface flickered with weak pulses of light. Emma's translator picked up faint patterns of energy, converting them to words. "Help. Others. Trapped. Dying." "We're here to help," Emma said firmly, hoping the alien could understand. "We're humans, and we're going to save your people." The crystallid's lights pulsed once more before dimming. Emma's scanner showed it had slipped into a deeper state of unconsciousness, but was stable. Captain Chen's voice came through their comms. "Team, the Perseverance's sensors are detecting increasing instability in the stasis pods. We need to move fast. Whatever we're going to do, we need to do it now." Dr. Lee looked up from his analysis. "Captain, these beings, their consciousness is encoded in light patterns through their crystalline forms. Conventional transport could shatter them. We need a completely new approach." "Then we'll make one," Chen replied without hesitation. "Humanity didn't come this far in space by giving up when things got difficult. Get started on solutions. Those people have been trapped in their dreams for too long. It's time we help them wake up." Captain Sarah Chen stood at the bridge of the HSS Perseverance, her dark eyes fixed on the vast emptiness of space before her. The deep space exploration vessel had been traveling through this uncharted region for 3 months, mapping new star systems and searching for signs of intelligent life. "Captain, you need to see this." Lieutenant Rodriguez's voice broke through the quiet hum of the bridge. His fingers flew across the holographic display as he analyzed the unexpected readings. "We're picking up unusual energy signatures about 50,000 kilometers ahead." Sarah leaned forward, studying the data streaming across her personal console. The energy pattern was unlike anything she had encountered in her 15 years of space exploration. "Bring us closer, but maintain safe distance protocols. Launch probe Delta for initial scanning." The massive ship adjusted its course, its fusion engines pulsing with a soft blue glow against the backdrop of distant stars. As they drew closer, the ship's advanced sensors began painting a clearer picture of what lay ahead. "Ma'am," Security Chief Watson's deep voice carried a note of awe. "It's a ship, and it's enormous." Through the bridge's panoramic viewport, a dark shape gradually became visible. It was indeed a ship, but one that dwarfed the Perseverance. Its hull stretched for what must have been several kilometers, covered in strange, crystalline formations that seemed to catch and reflect the light of distant stars. "Life signs?" Sarah asked, her heart racing with the possibility of first contact. The ship's AI, responded in its calm, measured voice, detecting approximately 3,247 distinct life signatures. However, they appeared to be in some form of suspended animation. Warning: ship's life support systems are showing critical failures across multiple sectors. The bridge crew fell silent as the implications sank in. They weren't just looking at an alien vessel, they were looking at a rescue mission. How long until life support fails completely? Sarah asked, already moving toward the tactical station. Based on current degradation rates, complete failure will occur in approximately 96 hours, Araya replied. Sarah took a deep breath, squaring her shoulders. She had trained for first contact scenarios, but nothing quite like this. Send a message to Earth Command. Inform them we've discovered an alien vessel in distress and are initiating rescue protocols under Article 7 of the Deep Space Humanitarian Act. Captain, Chief Watson interjected, we don't know what those crystalline formations are. They could be hostile. This could be a trap. Sarah nodded, acknowledging the concern. Noted, Chief, but we're not leaving thousands to die while we wait for backup that won't arrive in time. She turned to address the entire bridge crew. This is what humanity does. We help. Prep the rescue shuttles and alert Medical Bay to prepare for possible alien casualties. As the crew sprang into action, Sarah studied the mysterious vessel on the main screen. The crystalline formations seemed to pulse with a faint inner light, like a frozen heartbeat waiting to be awakened. Whatever they found aboard that ship, humanity's first contact with this species would be as saviors, not conquerors. ARIA, begin detailed structural analysis. We need to find a way in without compromising their life support any further. She watched as scanning beams from the Perseverance played across the alien hull. And let's hope they're friendly when they wake up. The rescue mission had begun, and the next few hours would test the limits of human ingenuity, courage, and compassion. The fate of thousands of unknown beings now rested in their hands, and Sarah Chen intended to prove that humanity's greatest strength was its unwavering determination to help those in need.